In November 1988, Paul Ingram sat in a Thurston County interrogation room and confessed to satanic ritual crimes, with dates, with weather conditions, with the color of a robe nobody had described to him. How does a man produce that level of forensic detail for crimes that left no physical trace anywhere? Investigators, psychologists, and later, the FBI still cannot fully explain why a memory he invented felt more real to him than the life he'd actually lived. Ingram was a sheriff's deputy, church deacon, family man in a small town outside Olympia, Washington. In the summer of 1988, his adult daughters accused him of abuse stretching back years. Detectives brought him in. He said he didn't remember any of it, but he prayed on it. He told them if his daughters said it happened, it must be true, and he'd pray until God showed him the memory. Session by session, across 5 months of interrogation, the memories came, not vague impressions. Full scenes. He described blood chanting specific rooms in his own house. Here's the first anomaly. Detectives searched Ingram's property for physical evidence, burial sites, ritual objects, anything matching his confessions. They found nothing. Not one corroborating detail held up. Meanwhile, Ingram's account kept expanding, growing more elaborate with each retelling, incorporating things investigators had mentioned in passing during earlier sessions. His memory wasn't holding steady. It was absorbing the room around it. The obvious theory: Ingram was guilty, and trauma had buried the memories until confession unlocked them, a textbook case of repressed memory finally surfacing under the right conditions. Prosecutors believed it. His own defense attorney initially believed it. It fit a framework psychologists were actively promoting at the time, that the mind can wall off horrific acts and release them later, intact, waiting to be recovered. Then Dr. Richard Offsch, a social psychologist brought in to evaluate Ingram, ran a test. He invented a crime that never happened: Ingram forcing his son and daughter to have sex in front of him, and told Ingram his own children had reported it. Nothing like this appeared anywhere in the case file. There was no accuser. Offsch made it up entirely to test the process. Ingram initially denied it. Then he prayed. Within 2 days, he produced a written confession for the fabricated crime, 3 pages long, populated with dialogue, physical positioning, emotional reactions. He described it with more confidence and more sensory density than several of his confessions to the real, original accusations. The theory broke on contact. If prayer and pressure could manufacture a detailed memory for something Offsch invented from nothing, the same process could have manufactured all of it. This is where it stops being a courtroom story and becomes a neurological one, because the strangeness doesn't live in Ingram. It lives in how memory itself is built. Memory isn't a recording pulled from storage. Every time you retrieve one, your brain reconstructs it, and during that reconstruction it's briefly unstable, open to being rewritten with new material before it locks back down, a process researchers call reconsolidation. In laboratory studies using word association lists, the Diess-Roediger-McDermott paradigm, subjects reliably remember hearing a word that was never spoken, and they describe the sound of it, the voice, with total conviction. Brain imaging shows something harder to dismiss. When researchers scan subjects recalling a genuine memory against a confirmed false one, the activity in the hippocampus and surrounding regions looks nearly identical. There is no clean neural signature separating something that happened from something that didn't. The brain doesn't flag fiction as fiction. So what actually explains Ingram specifically? The hypnosis theory doesn't hold. No formal hypnosis was used, only prolonged suggestion and prayer. The coercion alone theory doesn't hold either, because coercion explains why someone might lie, not why the invented memory arrived with full sensory richness, emotion, and unwavering personal certainty even in private, unrecorded moments. The source monitoring theory, that people confuse something imagined with something remembered, gets closest. But it can't account for the speed, the 5 months compressing into something that felt, to Ingram, like years of buried truth surfacing all at once. Ingram served 14 years and decades later still maintains parts of what he confessed to are real. Neuroscientists studying reconsolidation still cannot identify the precise threshold where imagination hardens into conviction, or why some minds cross it in days while others never do. If a fabricated memory can outshine reality in the same brain, on the same afternoon, what does that make the memories you're certain of right now?